round 4 of GT Sport, first season of our SFR in GT Sport League. We are here at Willow Springs. I'm not much of a GT Sport expert myself. I will try to give you guys as much info as possible. So currently quali is underway. We've got a 15-minute quali, and I can't see the lap times at the moment. So let me just quickly spectate a car. I'm having a slight issue with the spectate. So okay, so currently Lee has set a time of 118.6, Smoke has set a time of 17.6. Oh, Rage goes off the track, but he's currently on pole with a 1 minute 17.4. Let's follow someone else. So yeah, we've got some interesting liveries here. Most of the liveries, the drivers have themselves created them. So feel free to put in your comments as to which of the liveries you liked. We're currently spectating Smoke in the Mercedes AMG. He's got a nice livery over there, brown and black combination. So Smoke, let's see if he's setting another time lap. Oh, and he goes off. And he's into the pits now. Let's follow Matt over here. He's coming across the final turn now. He's currently 3 tenths down on his personal best. It's a very delicate braking point over here. If you slow down too much, you would lose the momentum going on to the final finish straight. So it's important to get your braking right over here for the final turn. Garrett doesn't improve over there. We're on board with Mansell. He's driving a Hyundai. I think that livery pretty much matches with the WRC livery of Hyundai, if I'm not wrong. Oh, and he goes off again. That would definitely not help in his lap times. Let's watch on a lap with Bear. He's got a nice, neat livery. Not too many fancy sponsors there, fancy decals. Oh, he slows down to make way for Rage. So let's follow with Rage again. He's got a nice white and green livery with Jaguar. coming across the final turn now. Slightly breaking across the 100-meter mode. Oh, what did we see? Bear flying in the background. So Rage currently on pole. We are seeing Smoke get a good tow from Sophie over here. Although for the race the tow effect is weak, and now Lee goes pole. Wow, with a 17.2. And he is driving a Ferrari with GoDaddy livery across. Unlike F1, the lines that you need to follow in this game are slightly different. The traditional F1 racing lines will not work over here, so drivers would need to adjust to that a bit. Smoke comes into the pits again. I think Rage might be coming into the pits as well. No, he's going for another run. So let's follow a lap with Sophie over here. Currently half a second down almost on our personal best first sector. Mansell currently on his out lap, so he'll be starting his timed lap now. Stick with him. So yeah, Mansell starting his timed lap now. Approaching turn 1. Brakes just enough to carry the momentum. Turn 2 is again another long right-hander. I think the optimum line through this is to stay in the middle of the track. You stay too close to the edge, you would understeer and lose a lot of time. He improves 2 tenths in the first sector, approaching the this is actually the most trickiest part of the track, turn 4, turn 5. And he navigates to them pretty well. Approaching turn 6 now. Turn 7. Hugs the inside apex. He improves half a second on his second sector. Approaching the final turn now. Braking at the 100-meter board. Yeah, he seems to have carried good speed through there to the final turn. It will be interesting to see what time he gets, and he gets 118. He gets a 118. That's his personal best, and that puts him P4, which drops Sophie to P5. Sophie now starting a time lap. Approaching turn 2. doesn't seem to have lost a lot of time there, so she should be improving. She improves half a second in the first sector. And even if she doesn't improve in the next two sectors, I think she would still beat Mansell for P4. Evening, Galvin. Improves 2/10 in the second sector now. Approaching the final turn. You need to carry as much speed as possible through here. Braking at the 100-meter board. The tires are begging for grip. And here she comes across the final finish. And she gets a 17-1. That puts her pole. Wow, what a lap from Sophie. Lee currently only a 10th behind. And Lee is on his out lap. So let's see if Lee can get that 1/10 that he needs. Rage goes pole with a 16.9, so we finally have a sub 17-minute time over here. Let's stick with Lee as he. Oh no, and he goes wide there, but he's still going for it. Cutting into turn 1, nice and straight. Going to the edge of the track to carry as much speed as possible. Now coming into turn 2, staying in the middle of the track. I think that is where the optimum grip is there for the tires. Slightly scrubbing the outside part of the track over there. Now into turn 3, and he's into the tricky part of the track now. Turn 4, turn 5. It's a very tight track, and he seems to have carried a lot of speed over there. He should be improving. And we have a yellow. That I think the bear has gone off the track. Lee doesn't seem to be improving. He's 9/10 down on his personal best. So let's see if he goes for another run over here. I don't think there's enough time. We are into the final 30 seconds of the quali, so I think that's it for Lee. And he goes off again. Let's see if Smoke can improve on his time. Smoke doesn't seem to be improving as well. Maxwell seems to be on his best time at the moment, improving 2/10. So let's see if we can find a little bit more time in the final sector, in the final turn to edge past Smoke over here. And Mansell coming across the track gets 17.9, but it's still not enough to get past Smoke. Still 2/10 down on his time. So that's qualifying done, if I'm not wrong. Maggie not doing a time lap. Rage is off the track as well. Sophie in the pits. So that's qualifying done, guys. So we've got Rage who's on pole, followed by Sophie at P2. P3 is Lee, P4 is Smoke, P5 is SFR Mansell, P6 is Maggie, and P7 is the Bear. So it's a 33 lap race around Willow Springs over here, and it's very important to not make mistakes on this track, because since there are no runoff areas, you lose so much time once you go off track, and there's not enough grip on those dusty part of the track. So it's really important to be on track, stay close, get a good tow from the cars ahead, and ensure you come across the track as best as possible. James Hook says good evening. Good evening, James. So that's our qualifying results. I've already walked through them. So here it is, guys. We are driving Group 4 cars, and Rage would want to get off to a good start to maintain the lead coming into turn 1, but Lee right behind him would be getting a good tow. So we should see by end of lap 1 what the positions are. Engines revving, and here they are. Rage is off to a great start. Sophie is trotting right behind Rage over here, coming into turn 1, and Mansell is having a look on the inside. And Lee follows. Lee is following Sophie closely over here. But Rage is off to a flying start. He's already got a 1.5 seconds lead on Sophie. The rest of the pack fighting for positions over here. Sophie leading this pack, so I think it's going to be a tight battle for P2. So this is the tricky part where cars tend to go off. So let's see, and Mansell gets pushed right, and Smoke says thank you and gets into that P4 position, and the Bear is having a look now on Mansell. He cuts down the inside and overtakes Mansell. What a move from Mansell there. Maggie, I don't know if he's had an issue, but he's currently last. Mansell following the Bear closely to get that position back. You would want to brake late over here at the... And Mansell gets his position back, so that's P5 for Mansell. Let's follow the action ahead again, and Lee goes wide. Lee goes wide, he keeps it on track. Oh wow, he almost went to the pits there. So Smoke making a move into P3 for hunting down Sophie, who's he's only half a second behind Sophie now. And Rage, as we speak, is off to a 2.5 second lead now. He's almost pulling a second on Sophie over here. But that can change anytime. One mistake can change everything. So let's see. Smoke is really pressuring Sophie over here. He wants that P2 position badly. Navigating to the turn 5 over here. Turn 6 now. He's really pressuring Sophie now. Sophie trying her best to keep Smoke behind, but Smoke is right behind her. He's only a tenth and a half behind Sophie, and he has a look on the inside, but there's no room there. And what's happened to Rage? I think he's made a mistake there. Oh, three cars into turn 1. None of them make contact, so that's pretty good racing, guys. And Sophie's into the lead now. Rage, I think he's made a mistake there when he would want to get that position back. And as these people are fighting for positions over here, Lee is gently crawling back into the lead pack. So let's stick around with Smoke over here. This is where most of the action seems to be happening. Sophie has a slight understeer there. I must say the camera angles in this game, they're pretty epic. James Hook says Sophie to school Shane. Yeah, maybe that's what is happening currently. I'm in love with the camera angles of this game, to be honest. And Put in your comments, guys. Put in who you think will win. Oh, and that's a pretty tight squeeze over there. I think we've got Lee's gone off again. And Bear jumps into P4 now. These three are fighting like hell at the moment. There's nothing separating these three now. Rage trying the outside line to get more speed. I think he's got the speed over here, but Sophie is doing an excellent job defending him, and Rage tries to have another look on the outside, but doesn't quite get it done. He's moving on the inside now, and he overtakes Sophie. But coming onto the straight, Sophie would get a good toe from Rage, so let's see if she can get that position back. These three are currently 8.5 seconds behind the next fastest car, who is Lee. Lee would want to make those 8.5 seconds. He would want to cover those 8.5 seconds. So Rage has his lead back. Smoke is again trying to pressure Sophie over here. She is doing an excellent job at the moment defending against him. So if she can get that toe from Rage, I think it would be easy for Smoke to get past her. So let's drop back a bit. Currently Mansell, Bear and Lee having a squabble over here. Mansell goes past Bear. He's now hunting Lee. He's 1 second behind Lee now. He absolutely shouldn't make any mistakes to any turn, and hope that Lee makes a couple of mistakes so that he can overtake him. And that time has now dropped to 9/10. So Mansell has covered some good ground over here. Let's see if there's something happening at the front. So Sophie currently 3/10 behind Rage, so she has covered some ground as well, and Smoke seems to have fallen back slightly. He's currently almost a second behind Sophie now. So at this moment, Sophie and Rage fighting it out for P1 and Smoke. Oh, and Sophie makes a mistake there. She touches the dust on the outside, and she's lost quite a bit of time there. Smoke says thank you, and he moves into P2 now. But it's 1.5 seconds behind Rage, so he needs to pull off some magical laps to cover that gap. Lee and Mansell, they're fighting for P4 over here. Lee trying to move on the outside, doesn't quite work. The tires squeaking, and Lee gets the move, and Mansell has come into the pits. That's early pit stop. Let's see what tires he gets on. He seems to be staying on the softs. He has refueled his car, and he's on the hards. I beg your pardon. He's on the hards, so he'll be looking to do a long stint on those hards now. Matt G doing a race of his own. I really missed what happened at the start. I think he was right there with the pack, and I really don't know what happened there. He must have taken early pit stop. So let's see if that helps. At the front we've got Rage who's leading, followed by Smoke. Sophie was 7 seconds behind. She would want to make up that time in the next 25 laps. Lee seems to be having trouble at the final turn, coming out of the final turn. It's not the first time we have seen him scrub the dust on the outside part of the track there. I think that's what is costing him most of the time. The Bear doing a pretty good job over here, despite not having the best of qualies. He's staying right behind Lee over here, holding on to P5. So currently the cars are pretty much spread out. They're all doing their own race, except the Bear goes wide again. I think he's pushing the car through too hard over there. I think he's reset. I think the game has reset him on the track. Sophie currently 7 seconds behind Smoke. Did Smoke make a mistake? Smoke seems to have made a mistake there, and Sophie is back. She's back at him, right? And she gets that P2 back. And Smoke is fighting back for that position. Doesn't quite hold on to that. So yeah, just when I thought the race is going to be dull, Smoke makes a mistake and Sophie makes a comeback, and I think we are right back at it. The Rage has either slowed down or maybe he's made a mistake. I didn't notice what happened there, but I remember him having a good lead on Smoke, but it's currently down to 1.5 seconds. So Smoke getting a slight toe from Sophia over here. He's closing in out. He's closing in. He's currently less than 2 tenths behind her. We're already seeing marbles on the track, on the side of the track, on the non-racing line part. Smoke tries to have a look on the inside, but doesn't quite get it. He still needs to get a overtake done on her. Oh, and he goes off wide again. But yeah, he holds on to the car, and luckily it wasn't a major spin. Oh no, Smoke has gone wide there. It's not showing on my camera exactly what has happened, but yeah, I think he's gone wide pretty badly there. So now Lee says thank you, and he gets into P3 now. What interesting turn of events. So Smoke is coming into the pits. Currently 11 seconds behind Sophie. He is pushing that Ferrari to the limit to gain that time. So Sophie currently a second behind Shane over here. Let's see if she can close that gap. The gap is now under 1 second now. Rage has come into the pits. Sophie has decided to continue. Let's see if the undercut works for Rage over here. So we've got Smoke. I don't know what tire he's on, but I wish the timing monitor was on the. We had timing monitor like we did on F1, but so let's see. Currently, Sophie has a 14-second lead on Lee, and almost 27 seconds on Rage. Let's see if she decides to come into the pits this lap. Currently, Smoke and Mansell are the closest cars on track at the moment. I think it's fair to say Smoke is the faster driver between him and Mansell. So let's see how long it takes to get a move done on Mansell. Smoke sets a personal best and Sophie goes on mediums. And let's see if Rage overtakes Sophie. Yes, the undercut seems to have worked massively. He gets ahead of Sophie over here, so the fight for P1 is on again. So Smoke gets the move done on Mansell live. Missed that overtake. Smoke currently 9 seconds behind Sophie, and he would want to close the gap on her. Sophie currently a second behind Rage, and also she's on fresher tires compared to him, so she seems to be closing the gap pretty rapidly. Gap is now down to 7 tenths. Sophie and Rage are the closest cars on track at the moment. Sophie improves 3 tenths on a personal best. smoke doesn't seem to be quite closing in on Sophie over here. Of course, Sophie has the toe advantage on Rage, so unlike F1 cars. So Sophie sets the fastest lap with a 17.6. I think these guys are doing times pretty close to their quali times. Maybe half a second to 7 times down on their quali time. So maybe the cars are lighter and they're not fully loaded. It could also be track evolution. So I think she has set another personal best in sector 1, and the gap is now come down to 5 tenths. She is putting pressure on Rage, and it seems to be working quite well. Rage is not pulling off. Now the gap down to 2 tenths. Will she carry the speed on the home straight? Getting a cheeky toe on him and goes on the inside. Can she get the move done? Who would brake late? She gets the move done. Brilliant move from Sophie over there. And Rage tries to make a comeback. He has a look on the inside and he gets the inside line into turn 2. But Sophie, being on the outer line, can carry more speed, and she holds on to that first position. Wow, what a close racing between these two. It's been brilliant. Let's see if Rage can challenge her back. So Rage now put 3 tenths behind Sophie. Sophie holding on to her lead now. Smoke is dropping back. He's really not closing that gap. It has now increased to 12 seconds. And Mansell seems to be chasing for the third position, P3. The camera shots are brilliant on this game though, especially the broadcast camera angles are very brilliant. Oh, Rage slightly goes wide there. He loses a bit of time. That was a good shot between the balloons. Sophie is doing a brilliant job in holding on to her lead. Despite Rage having the toe advantage, he doesn't seem to be closing down as much as he wants to. We can see smoke on the background approaching turn 5. So I think it's an interesting battle at the moment here for P3. Of course, we are only halfway. We are, I think, about halfway mark at the moment, and there's still 14 more laps to go, and anything can happen. So Rage has covered some time now. He's now 3/10 behind Sophie. Gap is now down to 2/10. Holding on to her lead, and she's defending pretty well at the moment, not letting Rage through. She's picking the right lines, so that's making Rage think to pick his lines for the overtake. It's pretty close now though. They're slowly approaching the last car, Maggie over here. Oh no, the gap is now down to a 10th. This is pretty close between these two. So Rage gaining on a, trying to make a move on the outside. Can he hold on? And he does. So Rage is back into the lead now. But now Sophie would be getting the toe from Rage. So let's see how long Rage can hold on to his lead. Oh, Sophie has a look on the inside and she gets the move done. Rage couldn't hold on to P1 even for a lap, and Sophie is back into the lead. Final 11 laps over here. So let's see if there's any action happening elsewhere. So the Bear and Mansell, they're pretty close as well. Smoke currently 17 seconds behind. At the last I remember, he was 12 seconds behind. So I think it's either Sophie or Rage for the win over here. I know it's too early to call and anything can happen, but if all the cars stay on track the way they are and none of them go off the track, I think it's going to be a battle between Sophie and Rage for the win. Rage now, the gap down to 3/10. Let's see if we can get a move. And Sophie comes into the pit. Oh, and they both come into the pit. Interesting. So they've both come into the pits for their final stint for 10 laps. Let's see what Smoke does over here. When Smoke comes into the pits, let's see what Lee does over here. So Lee doesn't pit. He continues. Let's see if these three can provide us some action now. But Sophie and Rage on fresher tires would be having the advantage, so it would be hard for Lee to get past these two. So Lee doesn't seem to be catching these two for obvious reasons, because he's on older tires. So it's final sprint between Rage and Sophie for the win. Final 9 laps over here. Rage sets a best sector by 17 thousandths. Where has pitted for the Hearts. Rage sets another personal best sector in the sector 2 by 3/10. Rage takes a wider line through their thing to carry speed, but he seems to have lost. And Rage sets fastest lap of the race so far, 17.3. The Bear making way for the leaders. Of course, he's a back marker. So we've got Lee in the pits now. Smoke is into P3, but yeah, he's too far behind to challenge for the win. Tracks were goes by, you think it's Matt G and Smoke. Of course, Matt G is a lap car, so let's see if Rage can get the more done this lap. He's currently only at 10th behind Sophie. Rage is going wide to that final turn, which is actually costing him a good 2 to 3 tenths. If he can get that right, I think he can get the move done on Sophie. Sophie, on the other hand, she's been pretty consistent with her lap times and with her lines. It will be hard to get past her if Rage keeps making mistakes. We are in the final 6 laps now, and we still don't know who the winner is going to be. Rage is back within a tenth of Sophie now. He's side by side with her. I think he gets the final turn right this time because he hasn't seemed to have lost too much time there. Let's see if he can get the advantage into turn 1. He tries a move on the outside. Sophie pushes him wide slightly. Still, Sophie holding on to her lead now. Where he keeps the car on track, but I think he slightly clipped the dust over there. Rage side by side with Sophie now into the final turn. He needs to get a good exit over here. It hasn't been his strongest part of the track. Sophie now a tenth behind him. And she's gaining massively on him, and she has a look on the inside. Can she get the move done? Who would brake late? And she brakes late and gets the move done. Not quite sure what happened there, but Rage cuts back into the inside and he keeps his lead. This should be an interesting finish to the race in the final 4 laps. It's all about who's more consistent and who can keep the car on track. Sophie seems to have fallen back a bit. She's half a second behind Rage now. But the steam effect is decent on this game, so she should be bringing it down to maybe 3 or 2 tenths by the end of by the end of the straight. So the gap is now down to 3.5 tenths, and Rage needs to hold her for 4 more laps if he wants to get P1 in this race. Sophie would definitely try her best to get that position back, and she seems to be pressuring him quite well. The gap is now down to 2 tenths. could be possible that both the cars have been filled with different levels of fuel, because Rage seems to be having the pace in the final stint in this race. Sophie having a look on the inside, doesn't quite get it done, but she is now within the gap to get a decent tone up. Gap is now down to less than 3/10. We are in the final 2 laps now. Sophie and Rage fighting it out for P1 over here. Both the cars, and I think Rage has made a mistake. What has happened here? Rage seems to have made a mistake, and he would be absolutely gutted. He was doing so well, but Sophie, with the consistency, she has really pressured Rage into making a mistake over here. So unless Sophie makes a mistake now, it's impossible to get that 6-7 second gap down, and he makes a mistake again. He must be really gutted. He drove such a strong race. He was on pole. Would be absolutely gutted for this, but still, P2 is not bad. He should be proud of his track. So we are here in the final lap. Sophie looks to be all set to take the top honors for this race. She drove a brilliant race. We got Rage, who was fighting for the win absolutely till the end, but then a mistake cost him. We've got Smoke, who's in P3. He seems to have maintained the gap, but Lee is only 1.6 seconds behind, so I think he would be hoping for a couple of more laps. I think he's recovered brilliantly towards the final part of the race, final half of the race. And as we speak, Sophie approaching the final turn now. She would be getting the top honors for this race, and she wins the round 4 of SFR GT Sport at Willow Springs. Brilliant race from her. P2 would be Rage. Oh, and it has a photo finish at the photo finish at the finish straight. Next we've got Smoke, would be coming in P3. He seems to have gone right there again, but he gets his P4. And finally we've got Mansell and Maggie, who needs to come across the track. So Sophie getting the top honors over here at the SFR Willow Springs International Speedway. So yeah, thank you for joining tonight, guys. We'll be back next week, same time at 7:30, and we are racing at Blue Moon Bay. So let's see what it brings out. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.